Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about individual products that I just refuse to buy. I'm not interested in them at all, and I'm going to give you guys the reasons for that. I have previously done a video on things that I really want to try, but for whatever reason would not purchase them. I'll link that down below, as well as another video where I talked about types of products I'm not usually interested in. But today I'm going to be talking about specific things that you could probably have them sitting in front of me. I'm still not going to put them on my face, with the exception of one, and I will let you know which one that is. But I'm going to start off with a brand new product from Hooda Beauty, the Resting Boss Face Waterproof Setting Spray. I have seen so many videos where people are like putting shadows and whatnot on their arm and testing this out, and it definitely looks like it works. But to me, the smell, I had to get used to the smell of the powder, but to me, like, the powder was just so nice that I was willing to deal with it, and it doesn't mess with my skin. Had it broken me out or done anything like damaging to my skin, I would not be using it. Now, you could argue fragrance is an irritant and all that, but this right here, the very first ingredient in it is alcohol, denatured alcohol. The very first ingredient. And then we have water, glycerin, and then another type of alcohol. I'm just like, I can't do it. I refuse. And there's definitely products that I have that have alcohol in them, but I try to, not use them back to back. And it's definitely not the first ingredient in the list. So I just can't do it. I thought about trying this out, and I was like, you know what? Sometimes some things are just not worth to put on your skin. And I get it, like if you're gonna do a wedding or something, this could probably be great to really make sure that your makeup is going to stay in place. But usually something with this much alcohol is gonna make my skin look dry anyway. And then again, I don't want to put something with that much alcohol, the very first ingredient, on my face. So I absolutely refuse to purchase, review, do anything with this. I think the very most you could probably get me to do is the whole eyeshadow trick on the arm. That's probably it. This is probably going to come as a shock to you all, because I love Pat McGrath wholeheartedly. I love her, and there's a lot of times that I buy things specifically for packaging. I'm like, but I don't care, I just want the packaging. But with this one, I just can't bring myself to do it. And it's the GLITZ Trance lipsticks. I'm not into sparkly lipsticks. I have one or two. I even have one on like showcase back here with my Ciate collection. But in general, I don't like metallic lips. I don't like sparkly lips. And this is a $38 lipstick. I love the lipsticks that I have. I use them all the time, but I know that I will be buying this just for the packaging, and the glittery packaging is kind of becoming a little bit more normal. So I feel like I can get this packaging, not the exact packaging, but things that are like it with other brands. So I'm like, I'm not going to buy a lipstick that I know I am not going to use, and especially one that's that high price tag. Now, I've seen swatches, they look beautiful, and I have no doubt that it is a beautiful formula, but I'm not going to use them. So I refuse to try these out. I don't want them. Next up is kind of a two-in-one from Benefit. It's their foundations in general and their powders in general. Now, I don't have an exact reason. Their color range isn't great, and I just never looked at these products and thought, oh, I want to try that. They have never called my name. And that is, back when I first started years and years and years ago, all the way till now, like when they bring out new stuff, I'm not interested in their powders or their foundations. Now, their brow products I usually love. Like, I love pretty much everything with the exception of one thing that's actually on this list, and I should just go ahead and talk about it. So foundations and powders from Benefit, they just don't speak to me. That's really it. I just am not interested in them. And because we are talking about Benefit, I'm going to go ahead and speak about this one. I saw so many people on the struggle bus with this product, and that is why I'm not interested in this. Again, their brow setter is like top. This is in my top drawer at all times. I really like their brow products. I think they have great products when it comes to the brows. But this thing right here, this is the Brow Contour Pro, and it just reminds me of being a kid with those clicky pens that I could do all the different colors, you know, and draw. This to me is too big. This is the first reason. So I don't want something this large to hold in my hand to do my brows. Second off, I don't do this many steps. So you can have, there's different shades in this, but it also, with each shade, you're getting a lighter shade and a darker shade so that you can add some dimension to your brows. You get a cleanup pencil, like all these different things. You just click it down. I would not use a pencil underneath my brow. I've tried different ones before. I prefer either an eyeshadow primer that works. I'm wearing Anastasia to clean up underneath my brow today, or a concealer. I don't want to use a pencil. And again, the size of this, it is so big. It's like a pen, like a huge chunky pen. It's too much. I just don't want to deal with all of that. I have laughed at some videos. They're like, I can't get this on, you know, eventually they master it, but I don't have time for that. I am put the gel in my brows and then fill in wherever I feel like I need to. I know I'm lucky I do have pretty good brows, but yeah, this product is a no-go for me. This is the one product that if I saw it in person and I liked it, I could be convinced. But right now, I cannot purchase it. And it's kind of funny because I actually went to purchase it and then backed out. So this is the Glisten and Glow Highlighter from Laila B. Yeah, Laila B. I love the packaging on her products. This pebble, like, oh my gosh. This to me is like one of the most beautiful and elegant packaging on the market. I just love it. Now, I had seen a swatch sent to me on Snapchat from one of my friends, and I was like, oh my God, I have to have this. It's so beautiful. But then I went to check out the product, and it said that it was a cream to powder. And that's not something I usually go for. Now, if it's in a palette, you know, like Natasha Denona does, and you have the cream and the powder and whatever, it's all together, and it's one thing that I have to get out, I will use it. But if it's a cream and then I don't like it on its own and I have to reach for another product to put on top of it, it's not something that I'm generally going to get a lot of use out of. And I have a ton of highlighters right now and ones that I really like. So I messaged her back. I was like, is it a cream? And then she was like, I don't know. So she went and touched it. She goes, actually it is. So then I backed out of it and I have not looked at it since. But this is the one product on the entire list that if I were to see it in person and feel the texture and it was amazing, I would purchase it. So this is kind of like a cheat, but at the same time, I don't see myself purchasing it anytime soon. This next one I caught a little bit of slack for, but I just didn't want it, you guys. I really didn't want it. I still don't want it. It's the Urban Decay Naked Heat Palette. So I did I shopped my stash, picked out some singles, and was like, here you go. I'm going to do a look that I feel like I could do with that palette. And I got a lot of comments say, I like it better when you actually review a product, and I get that, but I just did not want that palette, and I still don't want that palette. I don't know what it is. I think it's, it has a lot of the warm shades in there, and sometimes with Urban Decay and those style palettes, they can do too much of the same type of shade, and their shadows tend to be a little bit softer, not as pigmented, so it can kind of end up sinking all into one shade. So I decided that I didn't want to pick it up. I didn't want to risk it. It's not something I wanted to try and then end up returning if I didn't like it. I just didn't feel like a good vibe about it. It just didn't speak to me, so I decided to do that video instead. And I don't regret not picking that up. I see it in store and I'm just like, it's pretty, and I know a lot of people love that palette. So if you like it, by not dissing you at all, obviously I have not tried it, so I'm just telling you that I don't want to try it. Next up, Tom Ford, and this is the Emotion Proof Eye Color. Kind of feel like this was a slap in the face. I know that this is a little different than the MAC paint pots, but MAC just recently, not recently, to me it just feels like it was yesterday that I worked at MAC, but they did away with a lot of their colors of their paint pots. And if you don't know what their paint pots are, it's basically something that you could use alone on the eyes or as an eyeshadow base. Now, This one is waterproof. It has a different kind of texture to it slightly, and I've heard back and forth, hit and miss, but to me, this is a paint pot with a higher price tag. And I was just like, it's an Estee Lauder company. It can't be so different that I'm willing to spend like $26 more. So I have no interest in trying this out. I have zero interest in it at all. I don't use the paint pots for a base for my eyeshadows anymore. And then if I want to have any kind of like cream shadow, I love my Chanel one. So it's just an easy pass for me anyway. This next product is in my head. I know it's in my head, but I can't get it out of my head. So it's the Pixie Glow Mist. Everybody loves this, but I have it in my head that I'm going to break out. I've looked at the ingredients. I don't really even see anything that I know for sure is going to break me out, but the way people describe it and how dewy it is, it just makes me think that I'm going to break out. And I have had acne issues for my entire life, and I finally have been pretty much not completely acne free, but to the most part for a year now, and I'm just like, I don't want to mess it up. I hate it when I try a product and I end up breaking out because I'm a picker. I pick at things and then I end up scarring my skin, and I have it in my head that this is going to break me out. I am not saying that this is a bad product. Again, I haven't tried it. I've heard glowing, no pun intended. I didn't, but yeah, no pun intended. I cracked myself up. But I just have it in my head that for some reason I'm going to break out because of this product, and so I'm too scared to try it. So it's not like I have a vendetta against it. I'm just too scared to try it. The next products are just like 100% bougie, and I know that I can be that way. I take acceptance for that. I know that sometimes I want some of the higher end things. I'm a high end lover, but sometimes I have to draw the line, and I have to draw the line with this. I've talked about it just not being worth it. These are things that I have swatched and kind of tried out, but I'm not spending this money. It's the Christian Louboutin lipsticks, glosses, and like their eye color. I could be convinced to buy a nail polish. I'm not gonna lie, I could be convinced because the packaging is beautiful. But other than the packaging being pretty on these other items, like the lip gloss and the lipstick, no. I have plenty of glosses that are high-end even that aren't, okay, hold on, let me see how much these are. The lipstick is $90. The gloss is $85. And then the eye color is $50, so it's not that bad, but I'm just not drawn to it. So the eye color is just kind of like, I don't care. But the lipstick and lip gloss, if it was lower priced, I would try this out. But I'm telling you, the fact that these look like little ornaments, and I think that they're kind of supposed to, that little hook at the top for the $90 irritates me. I absolutely cannot stand that little hook at the top. I think that if I was even gifted one of these, I would try to get Puffin to figure out a way to get it off because I wouldn't want it on there. So I refuse. I absolutely refuse to purchase one of these. I've played in Kel's, and Kelsey loves hers, but I just can't. I can't do it. No. And now we have come to the very last product. And again, this one is a newer item. This is the Chanel Le Beige Water Fresh Tint. I've gotten asked several times to review this, but again, it is something I am not interested in. I feel like it's a little bit gimmicky. The whole beads being in there and they burst and then you get your color or whatever. I don't know. I'm not into it. I'm not into it. I don't want to try and figure out. They suggest placing it on your hand and then like letting the, no. I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. I have put this in my cart and then taken it back out several different times because I was going to review it and I was like, no, I don't want it. It's just something about it just seems so gimmicky, and it's, you know, it's not a cheap product, so I don't know. I just don't want it, so I'm not going to review it. Anywho, those are all the products that I just kind of refuse to buy. Don't want them. I'm not interested in them. Let me know down below if you're like, Mel, you are missing out, especially on that hot Laila B. I still don't think that I'll end up purchasing it unless I see it in person, but everything else, I'm telling you, it's going to be sitting in front of me. I'm going to be like, and? All right, you guys let me know what you think about this. And again, don't take any offense. This is just fun, lighthearted. I haven't even tried these, so I couldn't tell you if they're good or not. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.